Back, everybody. This will be part 3 of my Steelers playbook Singleback Trips breakdown. I'm going to show you guys a couple more passing plays and then segue right into the more advanced concepts that I talked about that I would add on. Hopefully this will just be the last video. The previous one went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I was thinking about it today and there were a couple concepts that I forgot to show you. I'm not going to run through all the plays necessarily against the defense, but I will show you all the setups. First thing is, now that we can set audibles, it's kind of actually really big deal. So you'll notice here I've put the Power O in my audibles, and I've also put the PA boot in my audibles. That way we can alternate between the PA boot setup and the solid corner setup that we talked about in part 2. And you always want to have the dive in your audibles in case they give you a really attractive look up the middle. And you could alternate between either the power in your audibles or the draw. Whichever one you don't have, just come out in the other one, not a big deal. So we'll start off, we'll run out of the, just because it's easier to set up, the PA boot. And on defense, we're going to run a Tampa 2. This is another popular defense that you'll see a lot. So we'll just base the line. Guys are going to put this in a deep blue most of the time. And they'll either leave this guy blitzing like this, or if you want to get advanced, you can put him in a hard flat, and now you've got a double flat on that side. Doesn't really matter what you want to do. So, first setup that I didn't show you yesterday. Yesterday everything was kind of going to the right side of the field. We were flooding that side, but there actually is a good set of plays that you can run going to the other way. So let's put the back on that side, Bryant on a comeback, and then still do the drag with James across this way. Now, you could leave Schuster on that post, or you can bring him across on a slant. We'll go ahead and run this one. See, what you see happening over there is that tight end drags across. He's going to occupy one of those yellow zones. And he's actually going to turn into a lead blocker for the running back. So that's a nice little setup. Also, the comeback route that Bryant was on occupies, cloud flat that's over there, which will give Bell a little bit more room to work with, rather than having him do a route that totally goes off the other side of the field, and then that cloud flat will come down and play either the James drag route better or the Bell flat route a little bit better. So that's a nice little wrinkle there. So just to show you the setup again, I'm not going to run the play again. You could look like that. You could look like that. You could do either a short in on Schuster or a deep in. Now what that deep in is going to do is it's going to pull those yellow zones back, which is a problem for them because now they can't cover those drags down underneath. So that's the first setup for that that I forgot to show yesterday. The next thing that you can do, let me look at my notes. I made notes for you guys. That's how much I care. So there's a play in here called the double in corner where Brown will run a corner route and then Smith, Schuster, and Bryant will run double ins. But they're running 2 5-yard ins. A better way to set this up is to have one of these guys run a smart routed in, so at 10 yards or wherever the first down is, but you want it to be over 5. And then Smith, Schuster will run a shorter in. And then you do the same setup with the tight end. You drag him back on the flat on that side, and then you would do your normal deal here, where you motion him across. And what this does is it creates problems for these zones because that happens. So that they'll fade back, to cover them as they're going down the field on their 9 routes, and then they're going to cut underneath at different levels. And the zones are going to be completely out of position to stop it. And if they don't user that, they're not going to be able to. But again, if they do user it, you've got that motion corner out with Brown. So that's the other look. So I'll show you that again. And it'll look like that. And if you want, you can alternate which guy runs the deep in and which one runs the shallow in. I prefer it this way. because I like that hot read there with Schuster in case they're bringing heat. You can usually hit that as soon as he makes his break. But it's up to you, and again, you can change it up as you go. Keep your opponent guessing. They start getting greedy, start trying to jump routes, and then you change the route up on them. The last play out of this that I want to show real quick, and I probably won't even run it, but there is, so here's this corner double in. So the cool thing about this, defense doesn't even matter. Just kind of want to show you the setup here. So previously we've been motioning Brown across to run a route to the right. The thing that you can do to catch him off guard, so here again we can get our same setup by just smart routing one of those deep ends. So now everybody else looks the same as the previous setup. But now what you can start doing, you can motion him across. Now he's running a post instead of a corner. So if they start jumping that route, you can feed that in there. You can change that route up such that if they start sneaking out, trying to manually guard that corner, now it's a post, right? There was one other thing. Oh yeah, so if we want to run our normal setup here, which is we've got our double drags. So, usually it looks like this, and then whatever you want to do with Bryant, you can even put him on a fade. And like if they're playing press coverage or something, a lot of guys will baseline press. See how far inside he comes? Now you can fix this by baselining again, but a lot of guys don't do that. So let's say if they were in that alignment. This fade is going to be wide open to Bryant here, so it's something to keep in mind just in the back of your head. If I see that guy lined up wrong, just hit him over the top, touch pass. But the one adjustment that we can make to this as a changeup is you put James on an out route. And it's going to kind of look like what we did at the beginning of the video, where he's going to be dragging across and the back is going to be in the flat to that side, and he kind of turns into a blocker. You'll see that same kind of look here. And he's also going to pull down the yellow zone away from that deep corner. You see how it made him kind of sail back a little bit? So we'll show this real quick on replay, and we'll keep moving here. So pay attention to the linebacker over here on the side. Back, 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 back. And look what happens. You actually, on this play, have all three of these guys open. Tight end, back in the flat, and your motion corner out. So you literally, by putting, all you had to do was put that tight end on an out route. Everything else is the same as the base setup of this play, and you get every single player open. How cool is that? That's pretty cool. So we'll get into the advanced concepts now. So we've already set our audibles for Singleback Trips. The other thing you want to do, go to shotgun, go to trio. This is a great set. I know Atlanta's got a version of this, but I think that's about it. This has been great in years past as well. So notice I've done the same substitutions here as I did in Singleback. I've got Brown in the middle, Smith-Schuster at the point, Bryant on the outside. Audibles that I've set for this formation. We leave stick where it was, inside zone where it was. We've added stealer dig, and we've added tight end in. You don't necessarily have to do tight end in. The other thing you can change this with, actually let's do that PA deep cross, because that kind of goes to what we're going to show here. So, and even if you couldn't set audibles, you could still do this, what I'm going to show, but it's nice that you can actually do that. So let's say you've been coming out in, our play. We've been coming out in power. But maybe you don't like the look that they're giving you, right? So from the audible screen, you can audible right back into trio. Barely any movement, because Singleback Trips is essentially shotgun trips tight end or shotgun trio. So now you can either run inside zone from here, which is a great play, or let's say that they're really kind of selling out, to stop this run, and they're in some really run-heavy defense. So at that point, and even if you're just making them think a little bit longer, they get their defense all set up, they're ready to go, they think they got you figured out, then you come out and now you're in shotgun. Now they're like, well, wait a minute, what's he doing, right? Now notice this play right here. That's the exact same play that we can run under center, right? So maybe if maybe that looks a little bit more familiar now. So now we motion him over. That's the same route. Everybody's open again. All three guys right in a row. So that's the kind of thing that you can do. You have the same personnel on the field, and you actually have the exact same play, but in the shotgun version. And they're going to get so frustrated. They're not going to want to deal with you anymore. You keep doing this stuff to them. So then, okay, they see you go to shotgun. Now they're like, okay, he's totally going to do a pass, and they settle for the pass. Then you hit him with the inside zone, and you just keep hitting them with that run, with the same pass. You change it up a little bit. This guy's going to be tired of playing you. He can't wait to get out of this game. Go cry in the shower. It's been a rough day. The other thing is there's a nice one-play touchdown to this. It doesn't work as well as it used to. It's basically just a cover 3 beater, but you can do this from under center with the PA boot over. Obviously, I didn't find this play. It's not my play, but it's the same setup you see a lot. You've got the post coming in behind the streak. The streak's going to take off the safety, and then you're going to occupy the safety on the right with the tight end. And your goal here is really just to get a big play like this down the middle of the field. Smith is a beast, and he wasn't really open there, but he jumped that. But the idea is the same, as you'll see that same route combination in a lot of other offenses. So the idea here is versatility. You can come out under center, audible to shotgun if you got to get away from the blitz, or just to make your opponent think a little bit more about what's going on. The last thing that I'll say before this gets too long, and I'm going to actually cut this series off at 3 here, and then we'll move on to something else. Any suggestions or recommendations or requests that you guys have that you want me to break something down, let me know. And this will apply to any scheme that you run. Make every play look the same, not just with like motion and stuff like that, but if you come out, in dive or power O, and you get to the line and you just snap the ball, a good opponent's going to notice that that's what you're doing. So come to the line in a run, but do the same hot routes that you would do. See, now I've pretended to set up the pass play, but it's not the pass play. It's power. Obviously, I'm not trying to run power properly here. But if you just keep coming up the line and quick snapping on the runs, but every time you pass, it takes you 7-10 seconds to snap it because you're setting hot routes and audibles. He's going to know when you're running and when you're passing. He can use the run commit and the pass commit, to sort of aid himself. Now, you might get in trouble if you guess wrong, but that's the benefit of this, is that if you come out and you start hot routing all over the place, and it's a run play, and he sees that it's a run play, he's going to notice that. He's going to say, you know what, I can't run commit on this guy because I don't really know when he's running. And then, you could come out in PA boot. This play is actually decent as it is. You could literally come out and quick snap this, just cancel the play action, if you don't want, the delay. And, that'll sort of solidify in his head that, okay, sometimes he quick snaps when he runs, sometimes he quick snaps when he passes. I'm not going to take a chance, guessing either way. It's just another way to keep your opponent off guard. And again, you can do this in any scheme that you guys are going to run. So hopefully this has been informative. Hopefully these haven't been too long. Any questions you have, let me know in any of the videos. I'll be happy to help out. But also, just keep in mind, anybody who's been in practice mode knows so some of this stuff might be like, oh, this shit never works. I'm telling you, it works. Go into a game mode, practice it out. The plays work. Just you put the time in, and best of luck. I'm here to help. Enjoy doing this stuff. So hopefully this is the first of many to come. So take it easy.